Hey guys, welcome back. It's always great to have you here. Today I have a tough love message to share. It's not easy for me to say this, but I think you need to hear it. Your butt is getting in the way, and it's a problem. And I'm not talking about your B-U-T-T. I'm talking about your B-U-T. These are the excuses that are getting in the way of you going after your financial goals, taking control of your finances, going after the purpose that you feel has been put on your heart, the bigger purpose than just going to sleep, waking up, paying the bills, doing it all over again. That is not what life is about. And it's our excuses that can so easily get in the way because they scream loud. They're the thing that we feel right now. It's the pain that we feel right now. And the way to get over that is to really hone in and understand your why. And you need to take the time out and give yourself that investment of time to give yourself, talk through it with your family even, give yourself the time to really think about it. Go on a long walk, maybe an hour or more. You might have to do it multiple times, but you need to ask yourself why at least 5 times. There's a theory of the 5 whys to get to the root behind something. And when you can anchor on that why, because sometimes change is hard, most often it is hard. A lot of the times change is hard. To get you through that hard, your why needs to be a firm why. You need to say, I'm doing this because that why is way bigger than my buts, way bigger than my excuses. I know the excuses are what I feel right now. It could be, I'm going to do it as soon as I get a little more time. I'm going to do it as soon as I get a little more money. It can be anything. There's so many things. Kids' schedules get in the way a lot. Busy life, work, just daily life, grocery shopping, chores, all that stuff. It gets in the way for a good reason. It's important stuff. But a lot of times we let it be the excuse for why we don't carve time out intentionally to make the change. And, I think you'll hear me say this a lot is if you know your why, it'll be the fuel that takes you to the finish line. For me, my why was that I so desperately wanted to be able to be present and not be rushing around for my son's senior year. And I felt like a lot of times I was just chasing the clock. And I was so sick of it because I did the single mom life for most of his childhood. And I just said, I'm sick of this. I'm sick of my financial decisions, running my life. It's time for a change. And that was my why, because I knew how good it would feel when I could my goal was to be able to afford to cut back my hours at work so that I could take Fridays off. That's not everybody's goal, but I had a very specific goal. And my so that was so that when the weekend comes, when those Friday meets happen or whatever that was, Fridays were powerful. And I had really powerful conversations. Not that it's a guaranteed formula, but I happened to be free mentally, emotionally. I was around the house more and I had deeper conversations with my son. Happened to be on those Fridays. I don't know if that's a coincidence, but I appreciated that. And I thought that was a blessing to be able to have that time to talk more with my son during a really important transition time in his life. So that was my why. And then eventually my why became, I want to be able to quit my day job. And I did. I shared a little bit of that story, but it was really not that we were chasing supplemental income, but it was like, we want to have the option. My husband and I wanted to have the option to pull the lever to go down to 1 income. And we did. That was our why, because we knew that that gave us the opportunity to chase a dream, a bigger dream that was on our heart. So it gave us the discipline, the desire to stick through the hard, because those goals, those visions, those dreams that we had on our heart were so much more worth it. But there will be days, because like I said, making change is hard. I shared in one of my recent videos, the 3-month rule. Anytime you're making a change, especially financially, you don't start feeling the smoothness of it until about 3 months in, sometimes even a little bit longer, but just know that going into it, this isn't going to be your quick fix. If it was, everybody would do it. But most of America, as we know, if you look up statistics in Google, you just Google it. Most of America is paycheck to paycheck for a reason, because we're strapped. They kind of advertise to us to piecemeal out your paycheck. What do you have left in your paycheck? Okay, we can make a payment out of that. We don't get to really take a look at the holistic expense, the holistic cost to us. And before you know it, you've signed up for something that's got you trapped for several years. And that feels like a heavy weight when you're carrying that. And you may not know how good it feels to be free from that until you're free from that. And finances invades our life. It's not a compartment that we get to put aside and pick back up every single month. It's part of our life. It touches everything we do. It gives us opportunity. It takes opportunities away or limits our opportunities. So I want to encourage you to look that butt in the face and replace it with your why. Say, I know that's hard. I know that I'm going to face that challenge. I know I'm going to have all these excuses. And this is the one time I want you to use but it's worth it to me because your why is worth it. And I know each of you has a bigger purpose, a reason that your heart ticks and beats and what makes you come alive. And I want you to think about that. Again, the action item is figure out your why. I want to make this change. I want to take control of my finances because, and I don't want you to put that in pen until you've asked that question 5 times. And let me just give you a practical example. When I first decided that I was considering leaving corporate America to build a financial coaching business, a personal finance coaching business, so to help individuals, not corporations, I couldn't understand what lit me up and why it did, because I went through a huge financial transformation. We, within 3 years, went from a terrible financial situation to completely debt-free, including the home, and I just couldn't let go of wanting to help others do that. It might not be the same time frame, but I couldn't let it go. So I had a couple days off, and I just sat and I was reading a book. I was like, why do I care so much? There's so many people, like, you follow Dave Ramsey, as I've shared that I do. He does the debt-free scream. People come on that show, they're debt-free, they keep their day jobs, and they go about their lives with a lighter weight and with more financial peace. I couldn't just do that. I was like, this is inside me. I now want to share it with people. And it bothered me that I couldn't answer why. And I finally realized that my why wasn't that financial freedom or getting debt-free was the finish line. My why was that I realized for the first time that actually was the starting line. And by starting line, I mean that is when you finally start to get options back on the table to start living your life more fully, more fulfilling, more purpose-driven. And I knew at that point, I feel like God put it on my heart, but everybody has a purpose that they're on this earth for. You have a purpose that you were put on this earth for. You have talents that you were meant to share and enjoy. And sometimes our daily grind keeps us from finding that joy. We've kind of given up on it. For me, it was art at times. I just wanted to have free time to do art. Time is valuable too, to have your time back. So when I realized that I could help other people free themselves through their finances to live more fulfilling lives, more purposeful lives, that sealed the deal for me. That became my why. And that is why I show up and do the hard thing. Even when I don't feel like recording a video sometimes, I'm coming here and doing the hard thing because I know in time it'll feel easier. I'll get systems in place. But it means more to me to deliver encouragement and inspire you to go do the hard thing with your finances. Take control of your finances, one baby step at a time. Don't eat the whole elephant. Don't try to climb the whole mountain. One step at a time. And your one step, write it down, is your why. Go out, take a walk, carve some time out, and figure it out. And then put it in the comments when you figure it out. Love you guys, and I hope you have a great rest of your week. It's not always easy, but it is always worth it. You can do this. Till next week.